Hi Netra, hi MS. So, is my voice audible? Good evening, Amarjod. Yes, audible. Okay. So, guys, welcome to EduTap. And today's session I'm going to take is on crop production parameters. So, and also I have combined or clubbed agronomic practices part also, because last week in the last session I have included the temperature part with the other crop parameters as such, and I have given a PDF on that with various other details. So this time there are very few questions that I could make on them, that seed rate or crop production parameters. So I have clubbed agronomic practices also, so that we'll complete this and so that I can take at least one more session on some other topic, some other important topic. So yes, hi Ojas, hi Swapnil, hi Baliram. So guys, one more thing, I'm really sorry that my video is not working, some issue with my laptop. So just I didn't want to miss the classes, so I'm taking like that without video. Kindly bear with me. And shall we start? So hi all, welcome to EduTap. And before starting the session, I have a small announcement regarding NABARD Grade A 2020 Phase 2 courses that are being offered by EduTap at a whopping 50% off. So if you or any one of your friends they are willing to purchase the course, you can go ahead and you can use the code NABARD50 as you can see on the screen. Along with that, we have also launched courses for 2021 for RBI Grade B, SEBI Grade A, NABARD Grade A, as well as combo courses along with these individual courses. So you can visit that. All are available on EduTap app also. So let's start with the session. See friends, before starting the sessions, last week we had a class on agrometeorology. So I had told you that weekly or seasonal rainfall distribution is divided into various types based on the LPA, the amount of LPA that is being received by that particular area. So here there are two types of distribution. One is weekly or seasonal rainfall distribution for a specific location in India that we have already discussed. So there is one more distribution of rainfall that is on all India scale. So here in case of monsoon rainfall, as India as well, we all know that LPA is 88 centimeters. So if plus or minus 10, if there is a deviation of 9 centimeters, then it would be considered as normal. As you can see here, this is normal. If it is less than 10% of whatever the realized rainfall, see there as we have already seen that the amount of rainfall that is more than 2.5 mm received per day is only considered as rainy day, and that is used for calculation for various calculations. So but here if that is so the number of days based on all these days and the amount of rainfall received, if the realized rainfall, the final rainfall realized, that is less than 10%, that is below normal. If it is greater than 10% of the LPA, that is obviously of LPA, then it would be above normal. So kindly understand, if a question is asked that for a specific location, then these would be the calculations, but if it's on all India scale, for a season, entire season on all India scale, then these would be the calculations. So this is what I wanted to tell you before start of this session. So we shall start with session. Before starting with questions, I just wanted to you know quick review of what we have done under crop production. See, these are the various factors of that affect crop production. One is internal factors, the other is external factors. Internal factors, it would be genetic or hereditary, like new varieties or new breeds, they all come under this. Because of that, they'll have some impact or some change, some factor. And external factors, these are the environmental factors that are affecting the crop production externally, like climatic, in climate, temperature, relative humidity, rainfall, all those come. Edaphic, soil factors, type of soil, soil pH, soil aeration, the structure of soil, all these come under this. Biotic, living organisms, be it microorganisms, even we human beings also sometimes have some effect on crop production. Physiographic, like its topography, slope, altitude, all these come under this. Socio-economic, the location where it is present, and it's the people who are in that area, what they follow, what are the traditions they follow, how they are cultivating, all these also that has an impact or effect on crop production. So in these, we have already discussed most of the temperature related questions and various other factors like soil and everything. Edaphic also we have already discussed. Living organisms to some sort we have discussed. Physiographic also we have discussed. Today we shall see about mostly relative humidity and some temperature questions. So this is just to have, to have an idea how to go ahead with factors that affect crop production and how the questions can come based on these. So let's start with the questions now. What is the optimum relative humidity generally required for crop growth? Generally for various crops, on an average, or you can say okay. Amarjot is saying 2, 60 to 80%. Bharat 4, 40 to 60%. Swapnil also 4, okay. Romil Sutar 2. Okay. Actually, the correct answer is D, that is 40 to 60. Sometimes it can even go to like 50 to 70. Sometimes. In few cases, in few books, it's given as 50 to 70, but in most of the books, it's 40 to 60. So here, as you can see, whenever the increase in relative humidity always has some negative effect on the growth. MS actually in most of the books it's 40 to 80 only, 40 to 60 or 50 to 70 also I have seen. 60 to 80 very rare, I haven't seen at all. So relative humidity, if it's 100%, it means the entire space is filled with water and there is no soil evaporation and transpiration, thereby again it affects the growth of the crop. Also high relative humidity, always there is a high chance of pest and diseases. Very few crops, very few crops, they can perform well when RH is 80% and above. Generally those are humid region. In humid region, orchids or some other types of small plants, they can thrive well in this. But otherwise generally field crops, they require relative humidity that is 40 to 60%. So this is about relative humidity, and as you can see, seed set in wheat was high at 60%. This is an example. It was given in TNAU notes. seed set in its 60% RH compared to 80% when water availability in the soil was not limiting. So this is how it is. Seed set is very high in at 60%. And it also, why? Because high relative humidity, the pollens now they will not be able to disperse from the anthers. That also affects on seed setting a lot. And as I have mentioned, because of high humidity there will always be, diseases, occurrence of diseases, pests. Based on that, again some sort of loss in yield. And also there's one more here, as you can see, RH under high humidity, relative humidity is negatively correlation with grain yield in maize. Again it's the same thing which I have mentioned here for wheat. The yield reduction was 144 kg per hectare with an increase in 1% of mean monthly relative humidity. This is how it's impacting. These are all the examples of based on various studies that have been conducted in agricultural universities. See, similarly, wheat grain yield is reduced at high relative humidity. That I have mentioned, because of high relative humidity, pollen dispersal will be affected because of the humid conditions or the moisture conditions. Again, in other cases, like see on the contrary, increase in relative humidity during panicle initiation to maturity, it increased grain yield in sorghum. So very less crops will be able to thrive in those conditions. So this is about relative humidity and few examples related to that. Next question: most suitable temperature for maize crop growth is dash degree centigrade. If you have gone through the notes I have given you, then you could answer this. I have taken 2 to 3 questions from that notes only, the table which I have provided. Under agrometeorology notes. Suitable temperature for maize crop growth. Three 3 okay. Swapnil, Amarjot, Anand Sahu 3, Baliram you are saying 4. Banking and SS Academy 1, Ojas 4. See, maize is a tropical crop. It's 30 to 32 degrees centigrade. It requires high temperatures. That's the reason they are able to survive in arid conditions and semi-arid conditions. That's why maize is one of the important crops that is grown in South Indian Deccan Plateau, in Maharashtra and other states where temperatures are relatively high when compared to North India. See, maize grows at a mean sea level, okay, 3000 meters. Minimum germination, minimum temperature for germination, it can thrive up to 6 to 7 degrees centigrade also. But most suitable temperature for germination is 21 to 23 degrees centigrade, and its growth is 30 to 32 degrees centigrade, and it requires at least 50 to 80 centimeters rainfall. Okay, this is required. It is a day neutral plant, and these are the various parameters related to maize. Next question: which of the following is or are true regarding sugarcane crop growth requirements? This is regarding sugarcane. This also you guys can answer if you have gone through that notes. Same notes I have taken this question. Tillering is directly proportional to day length. It is a temperate crop. Optimum temperature for crop growth is between 22 to 25 degrees centigrade. So which of the following is or are true regarding sugarcane crop growth requirements? Yes, Baliram. That's the reason it's grown in Kharif as well as Zaid season, and yes, banking and SSC. Anand is saying it's 3. MS 4. Amarjot doubtfully 4. Think. Netra is also saying 4. 5. 3. See here, the correct answer is 1. These two are wrong. And tillering, it's sugarcane. In sugarcane, tillering is there, and tillering is directly proportional to day length to a certain extent. How? We shall see. Sugarcane, it's a tropical plant, it's not temperate plant. And optimum temperature required for tropical plants, generally they are in the range of 32 to 35 degrees centigrade. And besides temperature and rainfall, sugarcane is one such crop where day length is very important. See, one question was asked on this, which of the there was a question in I think 2020 or 2019 mains, 2020 prelims or 2019 mains, which crop intercepts light to the maximum. Which of the, it was, the question was like that, and the answer was sugarcane. It is one crop that utilizes the light to a great extent in converting for this photosynthesis and dry matter production. So light, day length plays a very important role in proper growth. That is tillering of cane. And short day length decreases the number of tillers. It's always directly proportional to the day length. And under long day length conditions, plant produces more dry matter, that is more number of tillers, thereby more dry matter. So here the correct answer is, it's directly proportional to the tillering, the day length. So since we have come to photoperiodism, let's have a quick recap of what exactly is photoperiodism, how does it affect. See, no, Baliram. So here photoperiod, it's a phenomenon of physiological changes that occur in the plants in responsive to the relative length of day and night. So based on that, there are 3 types. So before that, the phenomenon of photoperiodism was discovered by Garner and Allard in 1920. So based on this photoperiodism, we have 3 types of plants: short day plants, long day plants, and day neutral plants. Short day plants, for their flowering purpose, they always need to have less than 12 hours of daylight, and they require greater than 12 hours of dark period. So here less than 12 hours, even if it's there, but there is a light period in between this dark also, it doesn't flower. It needs to have continuous dark for more than 12 hours. This is what they have mentioned here. And examples, rice, coffee, soya bean, tobacco, chrysanthemum, various other crops are also there. At least they require 14 to 16 hours of daylight for flowering. And in long day plants, the day period that require is greater than 12 hours and less than 12 hours of dark, that is night time, and hence these are also called as short night plants. And here less than, if there is no, if the temperature, it's if it's short day timing, then it would not flower. And even if there is greater than 12 hours time, but if there is small light, some light in between this dark phase also, it can flower, but at least it requires 14 to 16 hours of dark period for its flowering. Next is day neutral plants. Here it ranges from 5 hours to 24 hours continuous exposure, both based on that, it's of again 2 types: long short day plants and short long day plants. Long short day plants are those they must be exposed to long days during early periods of growth for subsequent flowering. That is bryophyllum example. Short long day plants, these are generally long day plants but must be exposed to short day during the early periods of growth for subsequent flowering. Generally certain varieties of wheat and rye, because wheat as such is a long day plant. So because of that only very few varieties they come under this. So this is about the photoperiodism and the types that come under this. Yes, Baliram, you are saying sugarcane is day neutral. I don't think so, Baliram. I have to check then. I'll check it and in the next class I'll confirm. But as far as I know, it's not a day neutral plant. Next question. I shall confirm to you on this in the next class, but as far as I remember, it's not a day neutral plant, but still I'll check. Next question. So now we have seen one or two questions regarding temperature, relative humidity, that is weather parameters that have effect on crop production. Now we shall see some about seeds. See, most of the questions I have already covered in one of my live YouTube sessions on seeds. You can revisit that session once again on YouTube. Rest of the questions I have covered here. Which of the following terms define the number of seeds planted per hectare to ensure normal density of crop and a maximum yield? Yes, you all are correct. It's seed rate. And here the seed rate can be expressed by two formulas. I don't think that questions based on formula based or numericals will come in exam, but still just try to have an idea of the formula. But in AFO, yes, they can ask the question. Seed rate kg per hectare, target plants per meter square, it would be given. Seed weight would be given, and germination percentage. What is germination percentage? Even if they don't give, seeds germinated by total number of seeds into 100. That is, it's an estimate for the viability of a population of seeds. So here one more formula is, they can give plant population per hectare per number of seeds per hill, test weight per gram into 100 by germination percentage into purity percent, the purity of that seed into 1000 into 1000. This is just to convert into kg per hectare. So any of these can be used for calculating the seed rate of any crop if you have these with you. These have been the details of germination percentage, all these are provided, then you can answer. So this is about seed rate. Next, what is the seed rate for transplanted rice or paddy? See, based on the type of sowing also seed rate differs, so you have to be very careful while answering such questions on seed rate especially. Ashwadhama, I don't have any idea when the admit card will be released. Generally it would be 1 week before, prior to the exam, 1 week or 10 days. Seed rate for transplanted rice. One. Okay, Amarjyoti is saying 150 to 60 kg per hectare. Banking and SSC Academy saying 4. Ojasva, he's saying 1. Okay. So let's see the answer. Aditya Kautilya is saying 4, but the correct answer is 50 to 60 kg per hectare transplanted. And here are the various details. For transplanting, it's 50 to 60 kg per hectare seed rate. Broadcasting, it's 80 to 100 kg per hectare. Dibbling and drilling, it's 25 to 30. Hybrid rice, it's 15. And for SRE method, which requires lowest seed rate, it's 6 to 8 kg per hectare. Yes, broadcasting, it's 80 to 100. So you have to be very careful. It would be based on the question. Last time also that I think in 2020 prelims or 2019 there was a question on small sized wheat or medium sized wheat, something like that. There was a question seed rate. So you need to be careful in addressing such questions. Next, what is the seed rate for hybrid wheat? What is the seed rate for hybrid wheat? Anyone? Amarjot 1, doubtfully. No one? Okay, let's see the answer. 2019 pre medium size wheat. SRE method, it's 20 to 25 days, I think, Baliram. For this, the correct answer is 65 to 70 kg per hectare. It's not 90 to 100. 90 to 100 would be medium sized, and bold sized it 125 kgs. Wheat, if at all the farmer is going for sowing with the help of dibbler, then it would be 25 to 30 kgs. Hybrid 67, that is 65 to 70 in the range. Wheat late sowing, if the farmer is going for late sowing of wheat, 125 to 100. If general is asking, 100 to 125. But generally 120 kg per hectare for wheat late sowing. Balaram, is that what you are saying? See, it depends from area to area. In few books it has been given as even 150. In few books it's 120. So the range it's mentioned is 125 to 150. See, whatever that, sometimes it happens that in exam also you might not get exactly the same figure. So the nearest one you have to choose if there is any such doubt. But see, whatever I have given here, I have referred so many books and so many university sites, only then I have given these details. Whatever seed rates, what today in today's class, I have done a lot of research because there's so many figures that crop up if you go on. So it's okay. If you still have doubt, I can check it and I can give you the references also from where I have taken. But yes, I am sure that this is the right one, 125 to 150. So I'll check it once again. Okay. Next, which of the following crops has the lowest seed replacement rate? Seed replacement rate is nothing but the amount of seed, that the field seed that is replaced by the certified seed, that is considered as seed replacement rate. It should be generally, as decided by our seed policy of India, it should be in the range of 80 to 85%. But currently In 2020-21 also it has reached up to some 20 to 25% only. It's still there's a long way to go to achieve this what we have targeted, that it should be the seed replacement rate should be 80 to 85%. Okay, which of the following is the lowest? Avinash is saying 1. 1 Baliram 2. Okay, Bajra. Abhinav is saying red gram and Baliram Bajra. The correct answer is red gram. Sorry, it's not 5, it's 1. Correct answer is red gram. See, these also latest figures I couldn't get. For some hardly 2 or 3 crops I could get, but otherwise these are the figures that are available currently. Correct answer is red gram. As you can see, these are the seed replacement rates of various crop. For wheat it's 33%, paddy it's 40, maize it's 57, highest is for pearl millet and rapeseed and mustard. Yes, they are currently it is in the range of rapeseed and mustard somewhere around 60%, 62%. And I could get as I am telling you, only I could get some first 2 or 3 crops latest figures, that too some 2013-14. Otherwise these are the ones that are in use. Even the Ministry of Agriculture also they are taking the same figures. Even SeedNet India, the portal, they are having the same figures now. For cotton hybrid it's always seed replacement rate is 100%, because hybrids you have to change the seed every year. This also we had a discussion when we had a class on seeds. So these are the various figures. This I'm going to provide you a separate document just like last time, in which I'll be giving you seed replacement rates, seed multiplication rates, seed rates of various crops, and even I have included in that few details about this germination percentage, purity percentage that is required for sowing. So that will give. So here, as I have mentioned, seed replacement, it's a percentage of area sown with certified or quality seeds, and as per the National Seed Corporation, at present the seed replacement rate is only 25 to 30, not 20 to 25, 25 to 30%, as against a target of 80 to 85%. This I have taken from Kharif policy 2020-21, which has been released very recently. And the seed replacement rate, it has a, as you all know, it will have always a positive impact on the yield. According to National Seed Policy 2002, the seed replacement rate of self pollinated crops, it should be 25% at least, cross pollinated crops it should be 33%, and hybrids it's 100%. And in but later on, National Seeds Plan, which was released in 2005, the SRR of crops, that is self pollinated crops, was increased to 33%, and cross pollinated crops to 50%. As usual, hybrids is it's for 100%. This was taken this I have taken from Seed and Varietal Adaptation of in Era of Climate Change by R.P. Singh, Dinesh Agarwal. These are all ICAR uh, dignitaries. For hybrid Netra, every year, non-hybrid 3 to 4 years or 2 to 3 years, but government says they have to change at least every alternate year at least. So this is what they have mentioned, this is what they have given, that at least 33% there should be an increase in the SRR for self pollinated crops and 50% for cross pollinated crops. These are the various figures that are important. That's the reason I am discussing these figures with you. Next, so this is the entire table. Here I have given you few tables which I have taken from SeedNet India portal. This I have taken from this book, the one which I have mentioned here, this Seed and Varietal Adoption in Era of Climate Change. In that book I could get for all the crops, almost all the crops. see for wheat, this is from 1980 they have given, but this is of importance to us. For wheat it was 32% that we have mentioned, 33% round figures we have taken. Rice it's 41, maize 57, jawar 24, so on and so forth for all the various crops. So this you can refer to once before going to the exam. Next, we have seen seed rate, we have seen seed replacement rate as well. Now we shall see seed multiplication rate. So which of the following crops as per the list has the lowest seed multiplication rate? And friends, kindly understand, for S seed replacement rate and for SMR, that is seed multiplication rate, whenever they ask for lowest or highest figures, that would be relative. So you have to go through the options, only then you should decide on the answer. So which of the following crops has the lowest seed multiplication rate? Avinash is saying 3, Rahul 1, Amarjot 1. So this, friends, we have already discussed in our seeds session once we had. Yes, the correct answer is wheat here. We shall see here. Paddy, it's 1 is to 80. For wheat, it's 1 is to 20. I couldn't incorporate the table here because it was one big table which I have provided in the PDF. You can see it later. But here, just focus on few other crops. Bajra, it's 1 is to 200. Highest in this table is 1 is to 250. Yes, paddy and maize it's 1 is to 80, red gram it's 1 is to 100, black gram, green gram and cowpea again 1 is to 40, sunflower it's 1 is to 50, groundnut it's 1 is to 8. Yes, SMM has highest than maize. So this is about seed multiplication rate. So next we'll see seed certification. So which of the following pairs is true regarding seed certification tags? Seed production, this is from seed production. Yes, brinjal, Amarjot, yes, you are true that brinjal also has high seed multiplication rate. Even coal crops, they also horticulture crops, excuse me, they also have high seed multiplication rates. So here seed certification tags, which of the following is true, or pairs, which is paired correctly? All wrong, correct. Here all the options are none of the above. None of these options is correct. As you can see here, breeder seed, its tag is golden yellow in color. Foundation seed, it's white. Registered seed, it's blue. This is optional. This step, registered seed step, is optional. Otherwise, these four definitely they have to go through to obtain a certified seed. This is blue in color. And nucleus genetic purity, nucleus and breeder seed it's 100%, foundation seed and registered seed it's 99.5%, and genetic purity of certified seed is 99%. That goes to the farmer for sowing. So this is about the certification of seeds. Yes, all are wrong, most of you are right. Next, now we have done till now we have seen some questions on seed, some weather parameters. Now we shall see more questions on various agronomic practices or various agronomic operations that are specific to few crops. And in that, this question says the removal of the terminal bud with or without some of the small top leaves just before or after the emergence of flower bud is called as. What is it called? So yes, most of you are saying it's topping. Yes, it's true, it's topping. And topping is done so that the quality of the leaf or in tobacco especially that is improved, and after topping there might be a chance that the axillary buds they become active and they might you know give suckers. Those are called suckers, and these suckers need to be removed from the plant so that the leaf, that vegetative growth is good. This is called as desuckering. This is desuckering. And in case of the flu cured Virginia tobacco, only the flower head is removed, leaving all the 20 to 24 leaves intact. While in case of chewing tobacco, only 7 to 8 leaves are removed as part of this topping that is retained on the plant. And here see, I have given one more option in this one. Topping we have covered, suckering, desuckering we have covered. One more option is curing. Curing is generally done in tobacco leaves, and there are four main types of curing. One is flue curing, air curing, fire curing, and sun curing, of which flue curing is actually important one. So I have given few uh, points, important points related to flue curing, which is generally done in Virginia tobacco. And this is the term flue cured tobacco. It is done in a type of barn. The curing is done in barns wherein smoke is released and slowly it is cured. How? In three stages it is done. One first stage is yellowing, where as you can see, the leaves turn to yellow gradually by increasing the heat of the barn. And how much would be? It would be increased to 2 degree Fahrenheit every hour until the barn reaches 100 degrees, and by the end of this process it should be yellow and wilted. Next step is leaf drying. Now continuation, again the same gradual increase of temperature is done to 130 degrees centigrade along with some ventilation, so that the leaf starts drying quickly. So leaves will dry, but the stalk it takes time. So the final stage is the temperature is steadily in the same way increased to 160 degrees centigrade, so that the stalk also is dried completely. Now finally the moisture percentage should be 14% by the time the entire curing process is done, and the leaves they are tied into bales, and this whole process it takes some 7 to 8 days. So this is about flue curing in tobacco. And curing is done to dry, not only to dry but change the chlorophyll content, decrease in chlorophyll content and changing the color, etc. Next, yes Balirang, topping is done in grapes also, but Mostly, as I have mentioned, these are all relative questions. Based on the options given, you have to choose it. You have to choose the answer. Yeah, curing also done in tea. Tipping, picking, curing. Three steps. Not picking, plucking. Yeah, we shall see into that also now. Nipping is generally followed in which of the following crops? See, nipping operation, Rahul is saying Bengal gram, Sangeeta Bengal gram, Amarjot and Maruti they are saying 4. Yes, nipping is generally done in both these crops, red gram also and Bengal gram also. See how it is done in Bengal gram. It is plucking of the apical buds when it is 30 to 40 days of sowing, just to stop the apical growth so that the vegetative growth is more, and then bushy appearance, along with that flowering would be more. As more side growth, more flowering would be there, thereby increase in yield, per plant increase in yield. Similarly, in red gram also, removal of top 5 centimeters when the plant is at 20 to 30 days after planting to arrest the terminal growth and induce the axillary growth, thereby again increasing in more number of flowers and increase in yields. So what is the major difference between tipping and we must have seen the topping, we have seen topping, nipping, tipping. So tipping is generally removal of tip of the shoot to inhibit the vegetative growth in the crop, and nipping, it is removal of unwanted buds from the crop so that the energy of the crop is restored, thereby the energy can be diverted to inducing more lateral growth, thereby more flowering, thereby more yield per plant. More yield per plant. So it's almost similar, operations are similar, but the objective is different. See, there we have seen in tobacco, topping is done. Again, that axillary growth, when axillary, the buds, they give rise to new plants, that is new shoots, which are called as suckers. Desuckering is also done there, because the farmer needs only the vegetative leaves, that is vegetative growth needs to be enhanced. So based on that, all these terms are little bit similar only, but the objective is different. So next, which of the following agronomic practices is most commonly performed in Bajra? Which of the following agronomic practices? For jerking, Balaram is saying it's jerking. Vivek Kumar Shah is saying lopping. Amarjot doubtfully ginning. Forking. Sangeeta is saying forking. Okay. So here the correct answer is jerking. See, what exactly is this bajra jerking is one of the steps followed for the synchronization in flowering in bajra. Generally it is done 20 days after transplanting, or if it is direct sowing 30 days, and in this process whatever the early formed ear heads are there, that would be removed, which results in the uniform flowering of all the tillers. Whatever tillers are there, they'll have uniform flowering. So this is bajra jerking. Ginning, yes, ginning is done in cotton, and it's a separation of process of separating lint from cotton seed. And definitely before this ginning, moisture percentage should be checked thoroughly, and the seed should have 6 to 8.5% of moisture percentage for ginning process to be successful. Lopping, this is generally done in trees, especially in tree lucerne, where indiscriminate cutting of branches of or the lateral branches or the main tree, this is done on large scale, and to assume so that only the terminal main growth is, yes, lopping in lucerne. And the most common reason for lopping is to reduce the size of the tree and get more vegetative growth. Next, forking is seen in carrot. It's actually a defect because of the hard soil. Sometimes a taproot will not be able to grow into the soil properly while storing the food in the root. So because of that, a fork like appearance of the, see, if the soil is hard, the root will not be able to go, so it will bifurcate. And forked roots, they generally they are marketable, the marketability is very less. So in carrots, maintaining the soil moisture is very important to avoid this carrot forking. So the four options which I have provided, these are the explanations for those agronomic practices. Next. In which of the following crops scuffling or soil stirring is done towards the beginning of the dry period in order to control weeds and also conserve soil moisture? See, there are so many agronomic practices that are done in various crops. I have tried to incorporate as many as possible in the form of questions, and whichever I thought that they're not so common, I have given the form of questions. Otherwise, in the PDF I'm going to give, I have incorporated so many various other agronomic practices as well. Yes, rabbing is done in tobacco, that also I have covered here. Yes, Amarjot, scuffling is in coffee. Yes, the correct answer is coffee here. And this is scuffling is also called as soil stirring, and this is generally done in second to fourth year of coffee fields. So just in the beginning of the dry period, they do this so that weeds can be controlled and also soil moisture can be conserved, and it is generally carried out during post monsoon, October to November time, from second to fourth year as I have mentioned here. And before that, in the new clearing, new cropping, digging is done, wherein a thorough digging to a depth of 35 to 45 centimeters is done towards the end of monsoon. That also is done in coffee only. So this is done when all the weeds and vegetative debris are completely removed, buried into the soil, whereas the dried, the stumps that can be removed. And once the coffee plants grow to a good height and vigor, then annual digging is not done, because the canopy itself covers it so much that moisture is retained and also weeds can be arrested. So this is about scuffling. Next, Mataking process or operation is associated with which of the following crops? Mataking is an operation or the process. Actually, it is very much similar to, ratooning in sugarcane. Nitish, this I have to check, Nitish. Nitish, I'll check it with the concerned person and I'll clarify it in the next class. I have noted it down in my diary. Next class, I'll clarify on this. Okay, most of you are saying a Mataking process, it's 4. Rahul is saying it's banana. Shubham is saying banana. Amarjot, banana. Baliram 4. Shubham Kale 4. Ojasvu 4. Okay, the correct answer is banana. So here what happens is, when it's a process of the cutting the pseudostem, when it is cut after the harvest of bunches in banana, this pseudostem, it is cut in such a way that at least a stump of 0.6 meters height is left, so that whatever the stored food in it is there, that can be provided to the suckers. And these suckers, yes, after harvest crop, so these suckers, they can utilize this food and they can grow further. Yeah, detrashing is done in sugarcane. And this is actually similar to not detrashing, I can say it's similar to ratooning in sugarcane. Yes, detrashing is an agronomic practice that is done in sugarcane, so that the suckers will follow till the time it withers up, the sucker will grow. So this is about Mataking. Next, operations plucking and tipping are associated with which of the following crops? Operations plucking and tipping. T. Okay, Netra is saying T, Rahul T, Amarjot 3T. Yes, the correct answer is T here. Yes, it's T. So here, when first let us see what are primaries. The shoots or branches develop from the light pruned bush in tea plantations, they are called primaries. When these primaries, they grow above a predetermined height, then they are decapitated or the top leaves and buds are removed, so that at a height parallel to the ground surface, and initial few rounds of plucking are termed as tipping. And the height of the tipping, see, are above the pruning or skiffing mark. Skiffing is again light pruning that is given in tea plantations. This also we have discussed in one of our sessions. And here, as you can see, medium or heavy pruning, 30 centimeters till 30 centimeters they can pluck or cut it. Light pruning in vigorous tea plantations, then it is 25 centimeters, or average vigor, it is 20 centimeters or 5 full leaves. Deep skiffing 7 to 10 centimeters, medium skiffing 4 to 5 centimeters. It all we have already seen once during one of our sessions. Next, These points I have taken from tea, cropping, that plucking, harvesting, so that there might be, you will have some idea or some questions might come. So here the growth in tea is always in alternate phases. One is growth phase and another is dormant phase. The amount of growth that is made between these two states of dormancy, this is dormant phase 1, second would be again growth phase, third would be dormant phase. So in between these two, whatever growth is happening, this is called as flush. And the apex of an elongating shoot or the bud unfolds leaf one after the other, and after making of some growth, this growing bud discloses a small bud which is sterile. This is called as bungee, and this means the shoot enters into a state of dormancy. So from growth it is entering into the phase of dormancy. And plucking consists of, these are few important points I have taken. Plucking consists of collectively newly grown vegetative shoots, and this is the plucking involves, or harvesting if involves, regular removing of young shoots comprising of apical bud and two or three leaves just below the bud. See, if this is the bud, so it has some two leaves here. This is generally called as the fish leaf, and these are the some mother leaves and all other leaves here. So this is one that is generally plucked or harvested, that is called as harvesting in tea. And see, anything less than two and a bud, that is anything less than two leaves plus one bud, it's called as fish or janam plucking. And what is this janam? Generally, whenever the growth of flush starts, that is flush, as I have already mentioned, the whatever the vegetative growth that happens between two dormancy periods, that is called as flush. So whenever the growth of flush starts, there is a unfolding of bud scales, which in generally this happens in northeast India, which is called as janam. They called it as janam or bud scale, and immediately these leaves drop off, leaving a scar on this. Based on this janam scar only, the skiffing, tipping and plucking, they all depend. That's why this is very important mark in tea plantations or the tea plant. And why this bud and the two leaf stage is very important? Because young leaves, they are high in tannin and polyphenol, that is what the aroma, the taste that it imparts to the tea leaves. See, buds, they contain 25% tannin, whereas the leaf one, that is the leaf that is most nearest to the bud, it has 28% tannin and polyphenol, whereas leaf 2, the second nearest one, it has 21%. So these two leaves and the bud, they play a major role in deciding whether it's a fine tea or low grade tea. The more the number of leaves that are plucked along with the bud, the quality degrades. So this is how the entire tea plantations as such work, and they have to do this regularly. यस मंजीत, मैम ये क्लास रेगुलर चलता है इसी टाइम पे. मंजीत, currently we are taking classes I am taking classes especially every alternate day at 9 o'clock. Otherwise I generally take classes every Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Maruti, wherever there is agriculture or ARD subject in the exam for NABARD Grade A General Agriculture, this would be applicable, these questions. See, along with the questions, that's the reason I'm trying to cover as much as possible. Yeah, thank you, Amarjot. That's what I'm trying to do, because we have less time and I want to give you as much, more as possible, so that it will be helpful for you in the exam. Next, Which of the following crops involve the operation dehalming? Okay, Shubham Dandale is saying potato, Shubham Kale is saying paddy. Okay, Rahul potato again, Amarjot potato. Yes, the correct answer is potato. So actually, it is the practice that is followed in potato, wherein just before some 10 to 15 days before harvesting, there are signs of drying or yellowing of aerial parts. That is a sign that it is ready. It is about to be ready for harvest potato. Then immediately the top aerial parts, which are called as haulms, they are removed so that the plant's vegetative growth can be stopped, and yes, removal of vegetative part so that the vegetative growth can be stopped. This helps in the growth of the underground tuber, and the quality of potato tuber would be good. The thickness, the seed, the sorry, not seed coat, the layer on the potato, that would be good. Thereby, that can be used as a seed for propagation. And there's one more term that is related to potato. I wanted to cover that. It's called suberization. Did anyone hear about this suberization? So whenever you cut the tobacco and leave it, the browning and encrustation develop. You know, the dark thing and this encrustation also white, hard layer. It happens on the potato, and that is called as suberization. And the chemical, the biochemical that induces that is suberin. So this is also one important term that I just wanted to cover here, suberization. So this is about the halming and suberization. Next, russeting is a commercially important defect in which of the following crops? Russeting. Anyone? Yes, Abhijit. See, just before exam, at least 4 to 5 days also, whatever the latest advance estimates are provided by the government, that you need to remember, or you need to look into that. That would be important. So this Rahul Patil is saying 4, Amarjot 4, Anurag 1, Smita 4, Amarjot apples and pears, Vikas Negi 4, Baliram Tengde 4. Yes, the correct answer is apples and pears. This is a dryness. See, as you can see the photograph, these are dry scales that happen on these apples as well as pears. And this again is because of the characterization by the accumulation of suberin, which we had just now dealt in potato also, suberization. So this is because the suberin on the inner part of the cell wall of the outer epidermal cell layers, whatever the outer epidermal cell layers are there of the apple or the pears, the inner part of those cell walls on that would have accumulation of suberin, thereby leading to this dryness on apples, which again uh, commercially or the marketing value of the produce decreases because of this. And generally this is in Malus domestica, this is visible in the exocarp, that is the epidermal layers of the this skin of apples. So this is about russeting. Next, marketing. Marketing is practiced in which of the following crops? Marketing is practiced in which of the following crops? Amarjyot is saying 4 sugarcane. Okay. 4. Anurag saying no idea. Manjeet Rathod 4. Baliram 4. Yes, the correct answer is sugarcane. Marketing is followed in sugarcane, especially by Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore. So what they do is, during flowering, they cut around the stem little bit below the this inflorescence and tie a polythene bag with nutrients, that is growth medium. The bud near the cut end gives rise to new shoots, and these shoots can be cut and used for hybridization purposes. This process or this method is called as marketing, and this is followed in sugarcane, especially by Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore. Next. Staking is generally performed in which of the following crops? This is also one of the important, agronomic practice that is generally followed. Yes, they cut near the bud so that the bud gives rise to new shoots, I mean, along with roots. They'll tie, plastic cover with, in that some growth medium would be there so that growth, nutrients would be provided to the bud, thereby it itself grows into a baby plant, you can say, with roots and shoot. Like vegetative propagation, they can go with the help of that. Ram Mohan Reddy Singana 3 tomato. Okay. Shubham 3. Okay. Smita. Okay. 3 Anurag Manjit. Yes, this is performed, sorry, this is performed in tomato. It's tomato. See here, this is how it is done. At least the distance between the the pole and the plant is 5 to 6 inches, and it should be at least 1 feet into the soil, and tying the stems of tomato plants to the support structure every 6 to 8 inches as they grow. So every 6 to 8 inches in between the two tyings, it is done, and this gives a support to the plant, train them in a certain way to grow, and also regular pinching off of the unwanted growth can be done, and this is one very popular way of supporting tomatoes so that they can have a clean, yes, succulent stem, and they can have a clean vegetation, clean cropping. So this is about staking in tomatoes, that is done. Next is, which of the following pairs are matched properly or correctly in terms of specific agronomic operations that are done in certain crops? Which of the following pairs are matched properly or correctly? Baliram, you were asking no something about rabbing in tobacco. Yes, this you can see here. Yes, it's all of the above, and we'll see each one of these in detail. See, this is what the process of fiber extraction both in mesta or jute. There might be small changes, but this is the overall process of fiber extraction. So the bundle stock, that is taken up for retting, then stripping. See, then what is retting here? Retting is a process wherein that bundles are tied, whatever the jute stalkers or the mesta stalks are there, and they are loosened. They'll put that into water and they get loosened and separated by woody stalks. From there, woody stalks, whatever the stalk is there, and these are steeped in water at least 60 centimeters to 100 centimeters depth, and the retting process is completed in 8 to 30 days. This is important, where the barks they separate from the fiber. This is how retting is done. Now what is stripping? Here this is the as you can say, fiber extraction step, where the removing of fibers from the stalk is done after completion of retting. Everything, the cellulose that gets loosened up, and they'll clean that. They strip the fiber of that, whatever that is present, the leftovers, and fiber is extracted from that. Then that fiber is washed, then squeezing excess water whatever is there in that fiber, then it is sun dried, then baled, that is tying in bales, in bundles, and kacha packing is done, and then they sent for storage and transport or for various other value addition to be done with that. So this is how it is done. And retting and stripping, they are part of the fiber extraction process. Reboning, this I haven't heard, Rahul. I haven't seen reboning. What is it? How is it done? So next question. CRISAF, that is ICAR, Central Research Institute for Jute and Allied Fibers. It has come out with a very efficient microbial consortium. That is a group of microbes consisting of 3 pectinolytic bacteria. They can dissolve the pectin in the uh, plants. Namely, what is the name of that microbial consortium or the microbiome? After they have done this after a series of screening and testing in laboratory and field conditions. This actually generally decreases the retting period, where it is taking somewhere around 8 to 30 days because of the microbial activity. This can be decreased. Okay, mechanically removing the strips of fiber of jute. So this is similar to ribbon retting. I think you're talking about that. See, what we have seen is bundle retting we have seen in that process. There's one more type of retting called as ribbon retting. There mechanically removing the strips of fiber is done. So we shall see that now. So here, okay, Baliram, you are saying it's for all of the above. Amarjot is also saying all of the above, but the correct answer is only Bacillus pumilus. Various other variants of whatever the subspecies or varieties of Bacillus pumilus are considered as a part of, microbial consortium, but the main organism or the main microbe that is used is Bacillus pumilus in this process. So here this is done in ribbon retting, and here the ribbons are stripped out mechanically from stems of mature jute plants, coiled and allowed to rot in water, and because of this, microbial action, the rating is reduced. I mean, the time is reduced by 4 to 5 days. Moreover, requirement of water is also less, and it reduces environmental pollution. But generally, the length of the rating, the more the length of the rating process, the more would be the quality of fiber. The higher would be the quality of fiber. So here, since we are in ribbon rating, since the time is being reduced, the inoculants, these microbial inoculum can be used so that the quality of fiber can be increased. Thereby, dual, dual profit can be attained here. One, time of rating is reduced, and environmental pollution is also reduced, and at the same time, improved quality of fiber. So this is about the various forms of retting and the microbes that can be used. So these are all the questions for today. Any doubts? That one thing I will check the seed rate once again. I will check because most of you were saying that it's some 120 kgs and I was saying it's 125 to 150. That I'll check. Rest. How did you find the session? So friends, I'll be providing the PDF of this PPT. Along with that, one more PDF wherein I have provided you with various, cropping, SMRs, SRRs, seed rates, all those. Yes, Anurag, 10 by 10. Thank you very much, guys. I mean, one patience. You have a lot of patience. Sometimes I take more time in explain things because I feel that everyone should understand, and that's the reason I sometimes take more time. So thank you very much, guys, for your patient listening, and I shall see you soon again. Next, today is it's Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday we'll meet again. So as I have mentioned, since I have clubbed the agronomic practices part with this, part, I shall plan something else on that day. Thank you very much, Baliram. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Oh, thank you, Anurag. Thank you very much. सो लेट्स कॉल इट ए डे. अब अच्छे से सो जाओ अब. फिर मैं थोड़ी मेहनत करूँगी अगले क्लास के लिए, और क्या ज़्यादा कुछ और अच्छा पढ़ाऊँ ताकि एग्ज़ाम में आपका हेल्प हो जाए, अदर दैन द वंस यू मस्ट हैव ऑलरेडी रेड. सो थैंक यू गाइज, गुड नाइट.